Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, brought to you, as always, by Akleh of the Land. And just a reminder, next week we won't be on air until Wednesday because of Rosh Hashanah. More about that later. And please excuse me, I do have a touch of the hiccups today. But also just a reminder that we bring you those top stories making headlines from Israel every Monday to Thursday. So let's dig in and we go back to the United Nations. Right now, it's the annual UN General Assembly, which is when the world's leaders get together at the United Nations and address the plenary. Yesterday was the turn of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, and as expected, he took major stabs at both the United States, accusing the United States of trampling on the nuclear deal, as well as the state of Israel. Now, just several days before, he had spoken to CBS's 60 Minutes and denied the Holocaust, amongst many accusations, during his short interview. When he took the podium yesterday, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, got up and the delegation walked out. However, the ambassador did leave behind a framed photograph of his parents, both Holocaust survivors. So in his speech, Raisi not only accused the US of trampling on the nuclear deal, he also called Israel a savage power, accused Israel of murdering women and children, but also training terrorists outside of our borders. Highly ironic, given that Iran is the world's biggest state sponsor of terror, sponsoring its proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. He also called on Christians, Muslims, and Jews to vote for a single state from the mountains to the sea. He didn't elaborate which mountains he was specifying. Shortly after that, it was the turn of US President Joe Biden to address the plenary. He used his time to talk about Russia's war against Ukraine, but also addressed the Israeli-Palestinian conflicts, saying that the United States backs a two-state solution and that the United States backs the security of the democratic Jewish state of Israel. He also said that the US will not allow the Iranians to acquire a nuclear weapon. Israel's Prime Minister Yair Lapid is expected to take the podium shortly. It is expected that he will also make comments vis-a-vis a two-state solution, something that has resulted in a little bit of criticism back home here in Israel from both his enemies and his allies. And of course, we will bring you all the news about Prime Minister's speech as soon as we can. Now, along with all the world leaders gathering to address the plenary, the big work is taking place on the sidelines. And yesterday we told you about Prime Minister Lapid's meeting with the Jordanian king as well as Turkish President Erdogan. Yesterday it was the chance for the newly elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Liz Truss. The two, who enjoyed very good relations as foreign ministers of their respective countries, met on the sidelines where Prime Minister Lapid congratulated her for her new role as Prime Minister. He also expressed the condolences of himself and all of the people of Israel on the recent passing of Her Majesty the Queen. He said that he looks forward to the two countries enjoying greater ties than ever before, and also reiterated that Israel's expectations from the international community was a longer and a stronger nuclear deal. But the most newsworthy chat out of this was the calls or the reaffirmation by Prime Minister Truss when she said that her government is reviewing and weighing the possibility of relocating the British embassy from where it is in Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which is Israel's capital. This is a point that Prime Minister Truss advocated in her campaign, and we really hope she follows through. And our last story of the day goes back to Shireen Abu Akleh. Yes, like Ben and Jerry's, it seems that this story continues to gain traction. The family of Shireen Abu Akleh have filed a complaint at the ICC, the International Criminal Court at The Hague. They have accused the IDF of deliberately targeting Abu Akleh, saying that the United States has an obligation to investigate and that Israel clearly cannot investigate its own crimes. Let me just remind viewers that Israel concluded its investigation just several weeks ago and said that while it is still impossible to determine who is responsible, there is a probability that the fatal bullet was fired from the IDF. Also backing up Israel's claims of inconclusiveness are the Palestinian coroner, as well as the American forensics team who conducted their own investigations on the bullet. So before we head off into the weekend and the new year, I just want to take this opportunity on behalf of all of us at Lay of the Land to wish you and your families Shana Tova Umetuka. May it be a year filled with good health, with prosperity, with peace, with blessings and happiness, all in abundance. Please take care of yourselves this weekend and don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our Facebook page at Lottel Site. See where we are for Shabbat, but also maybe pop us a Shana Tova greeting. We're on Twitter at Lay of the Land 5 and of course our YouTube channel at The Israel Brief. Please consider clicking on that red subscribe button. So from me to all of you, Shana Tova, Shabbat Shalom, and catch me again next Wednesday as I bring you those top stories from Israel.